Hello everyone, this is Christos. Welcome to another day in my life. So today we're going to be looking at how a muscle functions, or how it should function when we're walking. See, in the gym environment, it's common to have different exercises for different actions of a muscle. I'll give you an example. Let's say we're working the abdominals. We might choose to hold the abdominals still in the form of a plank. We might choose to stretch the abdominal by taking the body into a sideways motion, and we might look to shorten the abdominals by lying on our back and bringing the body upwards in space into a crunch position. So that's separating the muscles' actions to stretch, to hold, and to shorten. But in efficient forwards motion, these actions occur together in a very specific way. And that's what I want to talk to you about. But before we do look at how a muscle functions in gait, let's just look at the actions of a muscle. So imagine this is a muscle. The lengthening of a muscle is what we call the eccentric muscle action. This is where the muscle gets longer under load. So it is getting longer, but it's trying to fight against the movement of bones, which you'll find out how a bit later. We then have the isometric muscle contraction, think the abdominal plank, where the muscle neither gets longer or shorter, it just stays still. Finally, we have this concentric muscle action, which shortens the tissue, think the abdominal crunch. So we know now that in motion these things come together, but how and why? Well, it's to protect the body from injury and to help the body forwards in space. I'm going to use my foot here to show you how. So as the body takes weight onto the foot, the bones of the foot here are going to move apart from each other, which means joints are going to open. Now, if joints open too far, there could be injury. So the body was cleverly designed that we have muscles in all the right places to slow down that opening. So a muscle's going to get longer. It's going to get longer under load. In the context of walking, this is our body weight and gravity. So it's going to be fighting the movement of these bones, which have been impacted on by our weight and gravity, to move apart from each other, the joints opening and the muscle contracting towards the center of itself is going to get longer, slowing down the opening. And this is what we call eccentric muscle action. So it's a protective mechanism, so the foot just doesn't do this, but does this. Very cool. It's protecting, but at the same time, the muscle is loading up, ready for what's going to come next, which is the isometric muscle action, which is to bring the bones to a stop, as to not let the joints open too far and cause injury, but bring these bones to a stop, the joint opening to a stop. And it's almost like I have a catapult and I'm pulling back and I'm just about to let go. That's isometric muscle action in action, which happens in milliseconds. And the final action of the muscle is the contraction. So we've had the opening of joints, the stopping of that opening, and now we have this shortening. This is where the muscle which has been contracting towards its center has won against the opening of joints and has now contracted to catapult the body forwards in space and close this opening. Pretty cool. So in the walking cycle, we have lengthening first, lengthening under load, the load of our body and gravity. We have the isometric. It's where the muscle wins the fight against the opening of joints, and then we have concentric to propel us forwards. So in walking gait, it happens in that order. So if we're looking to help our body move forwards efficiently, the first thing we need to feel is the load of this eccentric muscle action. And for that, we need bones to move. So if we can get bones to move, we then want to feel the load take place, because it means the muscle is reacting to the movement of those bones, and there we will be one step closer to finding efficiency. I want you to have a stand up and see if you can get a sense of your glutes doing some work, your glutes doing that stretching, so you can start exploring this eccentric muscle load for yourself. So in standing here, if you step forwards in space and bring your body forwards in space, keeping your front heel heavy as you bring weight forwards, keeping upright, leading with the belly button, I want you to get a sense of feeling load at the back of the glute. That is kind of like a gene pull. So you're coming forward, you're keeping the heel heavy as you go, you're allowing the knee to bend, leading with the pelvis. Every structure on top of the pelvis, meaning the body and the head stacked directly on top of it, feeling the glute at the back load. That is the first muscle action, and that is a muscle action we want to feel as we take weight onto the front foot. This is one of the moments in the walking cycle before we propel on forwards. Just to give you an example of the eccentric, isometric, concentric actions happening here, we come forwards, we feel the back of the glute stretch and load, eccentric. The opening of the joint here needs to stop at some point, isometric, and then the concentric is to push us forwards in space. So today we've looked at the three actions of a muscle: the eccentric, the isometric, and the concentric. In the walking cycle, they happen together. We can't separate them. We've looked at how the actions of the muscle come together to protect the movement of bones and joints and to help us propel forwards in space. And we felt this load in our own bodies, and I'm just going to encourage you to look for more of it. See if you can help your body experience these gait or walking positions to feel load in areas such as the foot, the knee, the hip, the spine. And there you will start finding more optimal movement for yourself inside the walking cycle, but also outside of the walking cycle. I hope you enjoyed this. If you've got any questions, just let me know. Thank you.